Hello, Dr. Mo. This will be my midterm project, talking about how to make my home more green. I live in an apartment at the Reserve at Point Meadows. It's a multi-family condominium development. It was completed in 2004. Construction started in the year 2000. Sits on a 35-acre property, has 360 units, spread across 15 buildings. As you can see, there are ample green spaces and some man-made ponds as well. So let's get into it. Some of the problems that I identified are the heavily manicured green spaces. So pretty much everything is grass and sod, and a lot of plants that need weekly maintenance that don't do extremely well in Florida climate and heat. So they need a lot of irrigation, things of that nature. There's also no utilization of renewables whatsoever, despite the fact that there is plenty of space on top of these roofs for solar panels. And finally, the parking lot is just asphalt, no drainage whatsoever. It's completely impermeable. So I'll start with the landscaping. Xeriscaping is a style of landscaping in which the plants that you use require very little to no irrigation and are conducive to the climate and weather patterns in the place where you live. A lot of people associate xeriscaping with desert climates. You'll see houses in the suburbs around Las Vegas where there's a lot of rocks and cacti, so you don't need to water your lawn, as water is a very big problem in Nevada. But really, xeriscaping can be done in any climate. It's just using plants that mesh well with the climate and weather where you live. So on the left, you can see everything is sod and grass. It needs to be watered multiple times a week, mowed once a week. It requires a lot of maintenance. But on the right side, we have some examples of xeriscaping done in Florida. There's a lot of mulch, a lot of rocks. It's a little more sparse, but I still think it's very pretty. I particularly like this one down here on the bottom. So these are some examples of plants that do extremely well in Florida without irrigation. On the top left, we have a silver buttonwood tree. It's a shrubby type of tree with kind of waxy leaves that don't evaporate a lot of water. Under that, we have Helianthus flowers. They kind of look similar to sunflowers, but they're much smaller. To the right of that, we have sunshine mimosas. They're those fluffy pink flowers. And then we have some Calcopsis flowers down in the bottom right. It's a few different breeds of Calcopsis flowers. And Gaillardia flowers up top. I like these quite a bit. I think they're very pretty. You actually do see these in a lot of flower beds here in Florida. Okay, pervious pavements. As I said, the entire parking area for this 36-acre community is all paved in bituminous asphalt, which basically doesn't drain at all. So all of the rainwater that lands on that area just gets funneled into storm drains, and in periods of high rainfall, which we do get here in Florida, those storm drain systems are liable to become overwhelmed, back up, and flood the area. So the solution for that is a pervious pavement or pervious pavers of some kind. On the top right, that's a pervious pavement. If you wanted to keep just a cohesive, flat, all the same color, no pattern parking area, you could use something like this. And then underneath it, we have the pavers, which just aesthetically, I tend to like the pavers a little bit more. The benefit of that is that it basically maintains the conditions that existed pre-construction as far as soil drainage. So instead of everything underneath the parking area just being completely untouched by the water that lands there and it all gets funneled into the storm drain, it seeps down through the pavement into the soil. Okay. And finally, utilization of solar. There's a lot of roof space. There's a lot of roof space in this community. There's 15 buildings, and they have about 815 square feet of roof space per building. Assuming an average output of 9 watts per square foot per day, that gives you 110.35 kilowatts per day. That is a lot of power. That could take a pretty substantial chunk out of the usage that is currently happening just from grid power. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Dr. Mo. Have a great one.